This video is for you guys that are new to the channel, as well as that wanting to learn more about what your Amlogic box can do. So what you're seeing on screen here is called Armbian, and if you're not familiar with what Armbian is, it is a distribution of Linux aimed at devices with ARM-based processors. Bringing Armbian to these devices happened about 3 years ago or something like that. We were actually one of the very first groups of people to actually pave the way to bringing Armbian to Amlogic with the first S805 fork of Armbian for Amlogic devices. And yeah, that was an interesting time because it was kind of around the time when the MXQproject first started, and it was when I was, really wanting to see and push this hardware as far as I could. But a developer known as Balbs150 took over that development, and over the past couple of years, he's done a fantastic job in bringing Ambient as well as a few different distributions to Amlogic devices. And now you can see it on S805, S905, including the two variants, actually three variants, X, W, and D, as well as that we also have it running on S912 devices as well. So the current release of Armbian for these devices are based on Ubuntu 18, and it's not fully developed, of course. Lots of things work, but lots of things don't work. For example, video playback isn't great on these still. We've still got a long way to go before we get that working properly. And yeah, a few different things. But as far as a basic operating system for lots of different things, really, it gives you a great opportunity to start using your device in lots of different ways that you maybe never thought possible before on your cheap Android box that you've maybe just got from China, off eBay or Amazon, or just some bloke down the street. These devices are far more capable than you probably first realise. The greatest part about this development is that it is dual boot only, which means if you're at home thinking, I don't really want to install this because it might damage my system, there's no real chance of that because we're going to be running it from an external SD card. Your internal system will not be affected in any way possible because it's going to be running from an external SD card, which means, it's safe as houses really when it comes down to it, and it's probably the best way to do it as well. So it just means that you're going to keep your Android system, as well as that you can dual boot all sorts of different things like Corelec and Lacquer and all sorts of different developments that we've covered over the years here in the MXQproject. So let's begin and let's show you how to install this onto your Amlogic device. So I've actually covered this tutorial in the past. We created one and it covered every single system. And same again for this video really. It's exactly the same procedure whether you've got S805, S905 or an S912. It's all the same really. You just need to download the appropriate file for your box. Again, those links will be in the description. Just download the one appropriate for your device. And all we need to do now is we just simply need to write it onto a half decent SD card. Make sure it's something decent like a SanDisk SD card, something that's speedy. Like the SanDisk Ultra cards are half decent, so go for them if you've got one. I wouldn't go for anything less, and make sure it's at least a class 10 card as well, because we need that speed to run a full operating system like Linux. Next step is we need to write it onto that SD card. So I use a tool called Win32 Disk Imager. You might be more familiar with something like Etcher or some other system. There's quite a few. I mean, LibreLec, for example, has their own rebranded version of Win32 Disk Imager. It's all the same, really, at the end of the day. So what I want you to do is I want you to use this tool to write this image onto an SD card. And once you've done that, we can then change something called a DTB file. Okay, so moving on to the device tree part of this tutorial. And this is pretty much the end of the tutorial, really. There's not much more really to discuss other than the installation setup, I guess, but that's all self-explanatory anyway. So what we need to do is we need to get the appropriate device tree blob for your device. Now this can be quite difficult because there's lots of different devices out there. There's so many different types. I mean, there's lots I've never come across, and there's stuff always coming about now I've never even seen or heard of. So really, it comes down to just trying them all out. But one important thing you've got to remember is that a lot of these devices, whether you've heard of them or not, are very similar in nature. So what we need to do is we need to go into the SD card that we've just written Armbian onto, and then there'll be two folders. There's one folder called DTB, and there's another folder that says DTB as well. Ignore it, it's just exactly the same basically. So go into the DTB folder and you'll see a bunch of different files named lots of different things. Importantly, we've got P281, we've got P200, Q201, and these are all like sort of board names basically. So S905, for example, is P201. As well as that, it's also P200. S912 is actually Q201 or Q200. As well as that, we've got S905W, which is P281. I'm just trying to remember them off the top of my head here, so bear with me. As well as that, we've got S905X, which is P212. So these are like code names for different processors that Amlogic produce. Have a look through the file names just here and decide which one's appropriate for your device. Some of them have actually got the actual TV box name associated with them. So it might just be a case of giving a few different ones a go. For example, I found that the Cardass DTB file, it's heavily named just here, it's all in black and white just there. That DTB file is for something called the Cardass Vim2. And that is an S912 development board. Now I used an S912 box just the other day to actually boot Armbian from, and I found that this was more appropriate than the actual Q201 file, which is for generic S912 TV boxes. Yes, that Cardass actual DTB file worked better than the other one, so I went for that one. So it is a case of trying them all out, getting to see which works. You might find that one boots, but you might find some USB ports don't work, Wi-Fi doesn't work, and a few different bits and bobs don't work either. So it might be a case of trying a different one. And you may be wondering at home, why? Why is this happening? Why do we need to do this? Well, a DTB file is basically a map of your hardware. And it tells the operating system and the kernel, all these different things, basically where everything is. It's basically a map at the end of the day of your hardware. That's what it is. Just to keep it simple as possible, really, for you guys at home. So anyway, that's that part covered. Just bear with it, you know, try a lot of different ones until you get it right. The last thing you need to know about the DTB file section is once you've actually found one that you want to try, you need to copy it and then paste it into the root of your SD card. And all you got to do now is rename it to dtb.img. Once you've done that, save it. You can take your SD card out now and go over to your TV box at your TV and let's get it booted. So now we're over our TV with our TV box. Insert your SD card into the box. Next thing we need to do is we need to locate what we call the AV reset button. Basically, this is a button that tells the hardware to boot to the recovery menu, which is normally associated with Android. As well as that, this AV reset button can also be used to tell the hardware to point to another hard drive basically, and that hard drive is your SD card. That's the way we're going to look at it today. So what we need to do is we need to put in our HDMI cable, get it all set up right on the TV so we're ready to go, and then we need to make sure that SD card's inserted into your box. Then we need to find your AV reset button. Normally it's in the AV port, that's why we call it that, but sometimes it's on the side, it's maybe underneath. Have a look around your box. Sometimes it's a very pinhole, a very small pinhole somewhere on your box. Find it, find something small enough to actually poke in there and feel for a little button. Once you found that little button, hold it in and then apply power. You do not need to keep that button held in forever. You just need to hold it in for a couple of seconds. Wait until you see maybe the splash screen flashing in front of you on your TV. Maybe it just doesn't do anything on your TV. That's absolutely fine. That's what we want to see. And then what we need to do is after about 5 or 10 seconds, just release that button and hopefully Linux will begin to boot. So with any luck, what you should start to see is actual initial boot script. Basically, it's just a bunch of code that should be flying across your TV if it's booted correctly. If not, your device tree might be incorrect and you might need to go over to your PC and change it over again to something else. Fortunately, that's just the name of the game, and it's just the way it is with these generic TV boxes, because there's so many different types out there that we just can't make one that works for all. So if it's worked for you, fantastic. You will now need a keyboard. plug in your keyboard, hopefully that's working. If not, again, you might need to go over and try a different device tree. Once it's done, once it's all booted up, it will start asking you the initial setup phase. So you'll need a username and password. The username, the preset one for Linux is root. So you need to type in root, press enter. The password is 1234. Press enter. It will then ask you again what is the password, which is 1234. Click enter, and it'll ask you to set up a brand new password. Pop in your new password, it'll repeat it as well, and it'll go through a different set of procedures for setting up. Just follow the on-screen instructions, you won't go too far wrong. So after all of that, hopefully you should now be at the Armbian home screen, and then you can begin to use Linux. Have a play around with it, let me know what you think. And yeah, this is a fantastic development. So Balves on 50, great job. You are doing a fantastic service to the Amlogic community. Really well done. I really love this development. It is fantastic. And it really just shows you what these cheap TV boxes are capable of. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we shall see you very soon.